Hey, what's up everybody? This is Superbook501 and today I want to go over a bunch of new leaks and information we got for Marvel's Avengers. Now all this information is going to be on Miller's Twitter page and I will link that page in the description. He is someone in the Marvel's Avengers community who has leaked and data mined a good amount of stuff. This was originally posted by a UI designer that worked on Marvel's Avengers called Rick Stalder. Now I want to go over his post that was the most recent one before we go over all of these images. So hi everyone, I want to update those of you visiting for the first time and those who are following. I was contacted today and informed that due to contract restrictions with Marvel, Crystal Dynamic employees are not allowed to display game assets yet. They're expecting this to change, but until that happens, I need to do my part to not post any of that work. Thank you for understanding, and as new work becomes available, I'll make sure you'll get to see it. I'm pretty sure he's somebody that does not work at Crystal Dynamics anymore, but he is someone who did a lot of work for the UI design of the game in general. A lot of these pictures are pretty crazy and hopefully stuff we'll get to see in the future. From already looking at the images, I think that most likely the reason this happened isn't just general rule to not post any of this early builds or early pictures old UI. I'm thinking that a lot of this stuff is actually going to be added in the game at some point. There is a lot of pretty interesting information we can get from these pictures. Now all of these pictures and posts were deleted by Rick Stalder, but they were saved and they are all posted on Miller's Twitter page. And we can go into the first ones. I wanted to go over this one first because this is the one that I'm most excited for, and hopefully this is added to the game at some point. Now you can see that the UI is definitely much older. This looks like it could be something directly from Destiny 2, which makes sense why they changed the UI quite a bit in a lot of these pictures to give them the look that we have now, which really doesn't look like Destiny that much. This is a system that we don't have anything like in game. That is a complete customization and creation system for gear in the game. So at the top you'll see unlock, create, which is the tab they're on, customize, quantize, and keyforge. So this seems to be a full crafting system, not only with the gear right here, which we can see, but customize, I'm assuming, is probably re-rolling gear, changing the stats on gear. Quantize, no idea. Keyforge, I'm assuming that this is probably to make like DNA keys that we have now, possibly some other keys to maybe get another chest or unlock certain content, which is definitely something that would be cool. Unlock, I'm not certain. I'm assuming this is probably a way to unlock different perks. Most likely you would have to get a piece of gear with that perk on it and unlock it somehow through the unlock tab. So just a legitimate full crafting system essentially that would be really nice to have in this game. And as you can see, they have every rarity up to exotic. The exotic color is actually a little different here, a little bit more washed out, but they have all the different gear slots. So they have melee, I'm assuming this would be range, and just whatever other gear type name they were currently going for in the system. I'm not exactly certain what all of these are. They seem to have the rarity, no idea what rollovers are. I'm assuming that these are actually holding stats and somehow you could recraft to get then another stat, but keep that stat that you actually rolled over to like a next craft of the item or something like that. Not exactly certain, but overall, I really hope they add this system into the game. Having this system in at launch would have fixed a lot of the big issues the game currently has, and I'm hoping that this system was just not completely done and they had to get the game out, so this will be a system that comes in like a update or maybe a bigger expansion update. Hopefully it's not something that was completely scrapped, because stuff like this just adds so much to games. I think this definitely shows an issue just in this genre in general in looter shooters, that a lot of them don't go RPG features out of the gate and end up going it more down the line, going more into RPG features. The communities and player base of the game just like the game more and more the more they go into these RPG features, because this is a full crafting system, customize your gear. Overall, I think everybody wants something like this. Before these were even posted, there was dozens of Reddit posts talking about we need a crafting system, a system to reroll gear pieces, and it seems that they pretty much had a somewhat working system with that in the past. And here we do have a picture of Iron Man, and there are some skins in here that we have not seen yet, but the most important part of this are the pattern system they had. augment. It showed all the patterns you have. I'm not certain if they were originally intending for you to get patterns a lot. They have all the different rarities of patterns. Somehow they have uncommon patterns. Assuming that would actually be for emotes and nameplates and stuff that you could get patterns out of. There's the rare patterns, epic legendary we have, but they had exotic patterns, and I'm wondering what that would actually be for. If there's at some point going to be exotic skins. If you guys have ever played any of the popular MOBAs, they essentially have, in Smite I think they call them tier 5 skins. In League I forget what they call them, but they're a different rarity of skin above legendary. These skins super well detailed, have completely different animations. The skins themselves in game are usually able to be changed in some way. In Smite, the more you level up, the more things get put on the skin. Say it gets bigger wings or it gets bigger animation around them or something like that. That would be really cool if they had something like that in game where you could get these exotic skins that are just much more fancy than any of the skins below them. This is showing a lot of the different skills and abilities for the different characters that are much earlier versions, and a lot of this stuff would have been renamed and put somewhere else, but a lot of this stuff is definitely things that you could see that would be in the game. Brooklyn Brawler, then it seems, I'm assuming these are skill augments, all this type of stuff. I'm assuming a bunch of the stuff we actually got, they're just renamed differently, because we have definitely some stuff that seems similar to what we actually got in the game. Steamroller, same name. We have Heavy Roller, that seems to be something that we might have gotten in the game. Battering Ram, then you have another skill, Shield Throw, so this is just your ranged attack. It looks like here this is a bouncing ability, which you do have. The heavy attack you can bounce between. Boomerang, some of this stuff is definitely stuff we haven't gotten. Hopefully it's stuff we'll get in the future, because one of the devs on a live stream that they did with, I think one of the YouTubers or streamers, did talk about that they were working on new abilities. I'm assuming some of this stuff is going to be actually added into the game at a later point as well. This is one of the most important screens. This is character factions. So we have heroes here: Miss Marvel, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America. We have Black Panther, which we already know is coming, Black Widow, War Machine, and then we have Inhumans. I'm not certain why in the hero it's just Inhumans. I'm wondering if this is just an overall card and they just didn't display all the Inhumans. This is pretty exciting though, because then we would know that we have a lot of Inhumans coming, I would assume. But also it's weird because Miss Marvel isn't in Inhumans, and it could just be Miss Marvel is one of the main characters, so all the other Inhumans that are like DLC characters are just currently lumped in this Inhuman symbol right here. Who knows? Then for some of the factions, Dual Helix Science, War Console Military, and New Coalition Alliance. I'm assuming this may be SHIELD or an earlier version of SHIELD, but not certain. War Console Military and Dual Helix Science. Pretty exciting. These definitely seem to be different factions we don't really have in the game right now, and I'm assuming we're going to be getting them sometime soon, so that's pretty exciting. Enemies AIM again. NPCs Jarvis and Bruce Banner. It's interesting that they consider Bruce Banner a NPC because he's not actually a fighting character, but then Hawk we have as a fighting character. So there's something about how they're categorizing different characters. And next, we actually have all of the different, not concept pieces, these are the actual symbols and UI design for all of the different resources in game. So you have actually different elements, which is for the gear. Then you have all the different resources. There's then things categorized as serums and then keys. The heroic key is clearly what turned into the DNA key. Decryption key, which is pretty exciting. I'm wondering if this is something we'll get later on. A lot of these resources were actually turned into objective pickups. So if you get the daily objectives from the different factions, a lot of this stuff was turned into stuff that you picked up for those, so temporary pickups, but then some of it was turned into the resources we have. You can see mechanics here. This is something we have in game as one of the resources, and some of these are also that. I'm wondering if some of the stuff is additional resources we're going to get at some point. Cosmic dust, cosmic shards. A lot of this stuff seems to also be stuff that most likely was there for the crafting system, and I'm wondering if that stuff is going to come back in when the crafting system, if it comes back in. Pretty interesting stuff. That's all the pictures I want to go over today, but there are still some more images showing some early UI stuff and some skins we have yet to see in game, and those are all going to be on Miller's Twitter page. Again, I'll have that linked, so make sure to go check those out if you want to see some other early UI design stuff. But that's pretty much all I want to go over today. Subscribe if you want to see more Marvel's Avengers videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about all of these leaked early images, and thanks for watching.